The ZSU-23-4 Shilka is a lightly armored, self-propelled, radar-guided anti-aircraft weapon system. The acronym ZSU stands for Zenitnaya Samokhodnaya Uстановка, meaning anti-aircraft self-propelled mount. The 23 signifies the bore diameter in millimeters. The 4 signifies the number of gun barrels. It is named after the Russian Shilka River. Afghan soldiers nicknamed it the sewing machine due to the sound of firing guns and because of the similarity of the name Shilka to the Russian word degree. It is also referred to by its nickname of Zeus. History: the previous Soviet self-propelled anti-aircraft gun, the ZSU-57-2, was armed with two 57mm autocannons. It was aimed optically using a basic tracking and lead calculating system. The ZSU-57-2 was not particularly successful despite its very powerful autocannons. It could only carry a relatively small amount of ammunition, was inaccurate as it lacked radar and could not fire while on the move. The ZPU series armed with 14.5mm heavy machine guns carried on a towed mount for stationary, point air defense had a much higher rate of fire. The 23mm version of this weapon system was known as the ZU-23-2, a towed mount carrying two 23mm cannons. However, these towed or improvised truck-mounted weapons had similar disadvantages. The development of the ZSU-23-4 Shilka began in 1957 along with ZSU-37-2 NSA, and the vehicle was brought into service in 1965, replacing all ZSU-57-2s in air defense units toward the beginning of the 1970s. The ZSU-23-4 was intended for AA defense of military facilities, troops, and mechanized columns on the march. Originally, the more powerful guns of NSA were judged to be effective at covering the inner dead zone of Soviet surface-to-air missile systems despite the increased weight of the vehicle, but commonality prevailed. Initially, tank regiments should have had the anti-aircraft artillery battalion of Shilka. At the end of the 1960s, one battery was equipped with ZSU-23-4s and the other with ZSU-57-2s. Motorized rifle and tank regiments' standard anti-aircraft batteries consisted of 2 platoons later. The ZSU-23-4 combined a proven radar system, the non-amphibious chassis based on GM575 tracked vehicle, and 4 23mm autocannons. This delivered a highly effective combination of mobility with heavy firepower and considerable accuracy. The ZSU-23-4 outclassed all NATO anti-aircraft guns at the time, and it is still regarded as posing a major threat for low-flying fixed-wing aircraft and helicopters. NATO considered the Shilka to be so dangerous that, in time of war, standing orders required NATO pilots to destroy any Shilka observed, even if doing so required the pilot to abandon his mission. The system was widely fielded throughout the Warsaw Pact and among other pro-Soviet states. Around 2,500 ZSU-23-4s, of the total 6,500 produced, were exported to 23 countries. The Soviet Union's successor states continue to manufacture and supply variants of the ZSU-23-4, notably the Ukrainian Donets, and Polish Biala variants. ZSU-23-4 units saw active service in the Yom Kippur War and other Arab-Israeli conflicts, the Iran-Iraq War, and the First Gulf War. During the 1973 Yom Kippur War, the system was particularly effective against the Israeli Air Force. Israeli pilots attempting to fly low in order to avoid SA-6 missiles were often shot down by ZSU-23-4s as in Operation Dugman 5. During the Soviet-Afghan War, ZSU-23-4 units were used widely and to great effect against Mujahideen positions in the mountains, the ZSU-23-4's guns being able to elevate much higher than the weapons on BMPs, BTRs, T-55s, or T-62s. They were also used to suppress defensive positions around the presidential palace during the initial coup in Kabul at the start of the Soviet-Afghan War. The Russian army used the ZSU-23-4 for mountain combat in Chechnya. Description: the radar-guided ZSU-23-4 Shilka SPAAG, with its 4 23mm autocannons, was a revolutionary SPAAG, proving to be an extremely effective weapon against enemy attack aircraft and helicopters under every weather and light condition. The ZSU-23-4 has a very high density, rate and accuracy of fire, as well as the capability for each of the 4 autocannons to fire its own type of projectile from separate belts. While it is technically possible that each cannon shoots different type of ammo, there were 2 types commonly used in late 1970s, OFZT incendiary fragmentation and BZT armor-piercing tracer, which were to be loaded in 3-1 Rati Euro 3 OFZT, then 1 BZT, every 10th BZT round equipped with so-called copper remover, and marked. It was strongly recommended against shooting from a single barrel. The appearance of the Shilka caused significant changes in NATO tactics in aircraft use at low altitude over the battlefield. Despite its present obsolescence as a modern short-range anti-aircraft weapon, the ZSU-23-4 is still deadly for enemy light armored vehicles, infantry and firing points as an infantry support vehicle. With its high rate of accurate fire, the ZSU-23-4 can even neutralize tanks by destroying their gun sights, radio antennas, or other vulnerable parts. ZSU-23-4s, especially late models, have excellent performance and good systems reliability. Based on the GM575 tracked vehicle chassis, which used components from the PT-76 light amphibious tank, the ZSU-23-4 mounts an armored turret holding 4 liquid-cooled 23-2A7 autocannons linked to an OPK-2 Debol radar. The vehicle weighs 19 tons, has a movement range of 450 km and a top speed of 50 km per hour. Additional firepower of late modifications can be supplied by a roof-mounted pod of 6 short-range SA-18 SAMs, or side-mounted SA-16s. The crew numbers 4, driver, commander, gunner and radar operator. The driver's compartment is located in the nose part of the vehicle. The fighting compartment is in the center, and the engine compartment is in the rear part of the vehicle. The transmission consists of a multi-plate metal contact main clutch, a manual gearbox with 5 forward gears, 2 planetary 2-step steering gears with locking frictions and 2 final drive groups. The vehicle chassis has 6 single rubber-tired road wheels, a rear drive sprocket with detachable sprocket rings and 1 idler wheel per side. The first and 5th left, and 6th right road wheels have hydraulic shock absorbers. The track is 11.904 meters long, 382 m wide and has 93 links. Because of a large number of different pipes and tubes to detach during maintenance, the repair procedure for some of the vehicle's mechanisms is hard. The electric drive of an air outlet hatch of a gas turbine engine has an inconvenient location which causes overheating and sometimes, jamming of the electric drive. On the other hand, the construction of the electric power supply system is very reliable. Changing the main engine oil and coolant is easy, as is replacement of fuel and oil filters, and sections of the air filter. The ZSU-23-4 can cross vertical obstacles 0.7 m high, trenches 2.5 m wide, has a 1.0 m fording depth and can climb 30° gradients. The ZSU-23-4 has good maneuverability and cross-country ability, but its diesel engine's power is insufficient for a vehicle of its weight. As a result, off-road acceleration capabilities are subpar, and the vehicle lags behind MBTs and IFVs on uphill terrain. The ZSU-23-4 is equipped with an NBC system with an air filtration unit, firefighting equipment, TNA-2 navigational system, infrared vision device, a 123 radio set, a 124 intercom and electric power supply system consisting of a DGCHM1 single-shaft gas turbine engine and a direct current generator. Weapons and fire control. Turret and guns. Each water-cooled 23-2A7 autocannon has a cyclic rate of 850 (1000 rounds per minute for a combined rate of fire of 3,400 (4000 rounds per minute. The welded turret has a race ring transplanted from a T-54 medium tank with a 1,840 mm diameter. The 360-degree rotating turret is fully stabilized and capable of firing on the move. The turret rotation and autocannon elevation mechanisms provide very good speed and guidance accuracy. The hydraulically driven aiming mechanisms have been proven to be very reliable. Manual aim is used against ground targets. The quad-automatic anti-aircraft gun AZP-23 has a range of elevation from -4 degree to +85 degree. The GRAU designation for ZSU-23-4 turret with 23 AZP-23 quad-automatic gun is 2A10. An armored plate inside the turret protects crew members from fire and explosive gas during intense firing. Ammunition. Ammunition capacity is 2,000 rounds stowed aboard loaded in 50-round or shorter belts. The water-cooled 2A7 23mm guns of ZSU-23-4 fire the same 23A, 152 MB caliber ammunition as the 2A14 guns of the twin-barrel ZU-23-2 towed gun. While the 23mm Volkov-Yartsov VR-23 aircraft gun used in the Second World War era Il-2 Stamovik also fired ammunition of same cartridge case dimensions, the rounds differed in loading and primer, and are thus not interchangeable with the post-war AA gun ammunition. Compared to the VR and its ammunition, the air defense guns have slightly higher muzzle velocity, and explosive rounds also have slightly larger HE fillings. The VR ammunition has brass cases, while 2A7/2A14 ammunition has steel cases. Three main types of 23mm anti-aircraft ammunition were manufactured post-war: APIT, HEI and HEIT. Additionally to the original Soviet rounds, a number of ammunition manufacturers have since begun to produce ammunition for what is still a widely used caliber. These include also new ammunition types such as sub-caliber armor-piercing rounds and frangible ammunition. The following table lists the main characteristics of some of the available 23A, 152 MB ammunition used in 23mm AA guns. A typical loading of each ammunition belt contains 40 OFZT and 10 BZT rounds. They can be fired to a maximum horizontal range of 7 km, and a vertical range of 5.1 km. The effective vertical range is 1.5 km at a direct range to target of 2.5 km and target speed of 250 ams. The usual autocannon burst consists of 3 Euro-10 projectiles and target lead angle is calculated for each burst by computer. In attacking targets on the ground, its effective range is around 2.5 km. The short range of its 23 autocannons and relatively low explosive effect of its small caliber projectiles mean it is less able to engage threats such as jet attack aircraft and cruise missiles than modern systems like the 9K-22 Tunguska armed with more powerful 30 autocannons and integrated missile armaments. A special 23 round with composite projectiles was developed for a modern modification of SPAAG to be used against cruise missiles. Radar. The RPK-2 Tobol aka 1RL-33 radar operates in the J-band and can detect aircraft up to 20 km away. It has excellent target tracking capability and is relatively hard to detect by the enemy. However, the radar picks up many false returns under 60 am of altitude. The radar antenna is mounted on collapsible supports in the top rear of the turret. There is an optical alignment sight. The RPK-2 radar proved to have good protection against enemy passive electronic radar countermeasures. Nevertheless, the radar system of the ZSU-23-4 has a short detection range during target search, depending on weather conditions. It is hard to automatically track the target at ranges less than 7 Euro-8 km because of the high angular speed of the target at close distances. The radar needs to be reset quite often because of the unstable parameters of electronic cathode ray tubes of the target selection system. The absence of an automatic laser rangefinder requires a skillful commander and gunner. Limitations and problems. Early versions of the ZSU-23-4 sometimes has problems with runaway guns after prolonged periods of firing. The guns would get so hot that chambered rounds would cook off even if the operator was not pulling the trigger, discharging the weapon and chambering a new round, which would then also cook off, and continue to do so. This would sometimes continue until the entire belt of ammunition had been expended. overheating barrels could jam and even break away from the vehicle. The problem resulted from a deficient cooling system and made the early ZSU-23-4s dangerous even to friendly troops standing nearby if this happened. Despite the fact that this seldom happened, Soviet operators learned to give these machines a wide berth. Perit 1987-100, it was not recommended to perform continuous fire on earlier models until the problem with autocannon reliability and overheating during intense fire was solved on ZSU-23-4M. After the autocannon cooling system was improved, the autocannons became extremely reliable. Deployment. Soviet doctrine supplied the vehicle since 1965 in an anti-aircraft artillery battalion of 2-4 vehicle platoons for anti-aircraft defensive motor rifle and tank regiments. At the end of the 1960s, one platoon was equipped with ZSU-23-4 SPAAGs while another one was still equipped with ZSU-57-2 SPAAGs. ZSU-57-2 was completely replaced with ZSU-23-4 by the beginning of the 1970s. In the 1970s, Soviet motor rifle and tank regiments were equipped with an anti-aircraft missile artillery battery consisting of 2 platoons, one equipped with 4 ZSU-23-4 SPAAGs and the other with 4 9K31 SCHLA-1 or later with 4 9K35 SCHLA-10 short-range surface-to-air missile systems which cover the dead zones of 2 K-12 Cub surface-to-air missile systems belonging to the divisional level. Since the 1980s, Soviet motor rifle and tank regiments were equipped with an anti-aircraft artillery battalion of 3 batteries short-range surface-to-air missile systems and the 3rd battery with 9K38 Igler portable surface-to-air missiles on IFVs or APCs. The ZSU-23-4 is very vulnerable to enemy anti-tank missiles, cannons and heavy machine guns. The armor is thin and the exposed wheels, tracks, radar, and gun barrels can easily be damaged in combat. Firing positions of ZSU-23-4 SPAAGs are typically placed near the forward edge of the battle area but behind the main forces, usually 600-1000 m behind objectives when on the defensive or 400-600 m behind the leading tanks on the offensive. ZSU-23-4 SPAAGs are divided evenly along the troop columns on the march. At first each ZSU-23-4 operated in combat autonomously, without target marking from regimental or divisional air defense. In 1978, the PPAU-1 was passed into service of the Soviet Army. The PPAU-1 vehicle is based on MTLBU armored track chassis and it was intended for control of motor rifle or tank regimental anti-aircraft unit equipped with ZSU-23-4 SPAAGs and 9K31 SCHLA-1M mobile surface-to-air missile systems. The PPAU-1 is equipped with LUK-23 radar and an automatic fire control system associated with the divisional air defense system. The guns are useful against low-flying aircraft and lightly protected ground targets. Due to its effectiveness against ground targets, ZSU-23-4s have been used in urban environments. This is primarily because the guns can elevate much higher than a tank or APC cannon, enabling armored units equipped with ZSU-23-4s to return fire against ambushes from above. A small number of ZSU-23-4 SPAAGs are still in use by the Russian naval infantry. Variants: Soviet Union, ZSU-23-4 Shilka pre-production and then initial production models. ZSU-23-4V Shilka modernized variant with enhanced reliability of some details, ventilation system case located on the hull. Commander vision device was added. ZSU-23-4V1 Shilka modernized variant with enhanced reliability of radar system and other details, ventilation system cases located on front bilges of the turret. Guidance system computer was improved. It is fitted with a slightly improved diesel engine V6A1. ZSU-23-4M Berioz are armed with modernized autocannons 2A7M. The pneumatic loading was replaced with pyrotechnic loading. Welded tubes of coolant outlet were replaced with flexible pipes which increased autocannon barrel life from 3,500 rounds to 4,500 rounds. ZSU-23-4 MZ Bureaus are equipped with identification friend or foe system lock. All ZSU-23-4M were upgraded to ZSU-23-4MZ level during scheduled repairs. It should be noted that Army unofficially continued to use the name Shilka for all variants of ZSU-23-4. ZSU-23-4M2, so-called Afghan variant. Re-equipment performed during the Soviet war in Afghanistan for mountain combats. The radar system was removed and a night sight was added. Ammunition increased from 2,000 to 4,000 rounds. Russian Federation and Belarus, ZSU-23-4M4 and ZSU-23-4M5, modernized variants, armed with 2 additional paired man-portable air defense systems IGLA on each side of the turret and equipped with 81mm smoke grenade launchers, laser emission sensors, electro-optical vision devices and improved weapon radar system. The mechanical transmission was replaced with hydrostatic transmission, hydraulic boosters were installed. Mobility increased to the level of main battle tanks. This upgrade was first shown during the exhibition MAKS-99 in Zhukovsky and was carried out by the Minotaur Service Enterprise and Pelham Joint Stock Company from the Republic of Belarus, and the Ulyanovsk Mechanical Plant of Russia. The Ulyanovsk Mechanical Plant is also offering ZSU-23-4 upgrade packages independently. Ukraine, Donets. This is a Ukrainian modernization developed by Melishov Tank Factory in Kharkov. It has the modified turret from the ZSU-23-4, armed with 2 additional paired man-portable air defense systems SCHLA-10 installed on the hull of the T-80UD main battle tank. Ammunition for 23mm autocannons increased 2 times. Poland, ZSU-23-4MP Biopolish upgrade with GREM anti-aircraft missiles and fully digital passive aiming devices instead of the radar. India, ZSU-23-4 upgrade. This version was developed by Bharat Electronics Limited of India in cooperation with Israel Aircraft Industries. The upgraded systems will feature a solid-state radar and computers, electro-optical fire control systems, a new Caterpillar 359 bhp diesel engine and a new APU. The upgraded systems must be able to operate despite enemy jamming, must be able to pick up targets more than 15 km away, and must function in temperatures between 55°C and -40°C. The gun must be able to shoot down targets flying up to 450 miles per hour up to 1,500 meters and up to 2,500 meters. The purpose of the upgrade would be to extend the life of the air defense system by 15 years. In December 2004 it was reported that the Indian Army awarded a USD $104 million contract to upgrade 48 ZSU-23-4 air defense systems of the Indian Army. Netherlands, ZSU-23-4 upgrade, as a private venture, Holland's Signale Company of the Netherlands, obtained a number of ex-East German Army ZSU-23-4 V1S and developed an upgrade package. The main part of this upgrade is the modernization of the radar and fire control system. The first prototype was completed in mid-1998. The upgraded vehicle is equipped with the ASADS Car-Band Target Tracking Radar and the Page-I-Band Surveillance Radar. Combat history, 1966 to 1989. South African Border War, 1968–1970, War of Attrition, 1973, Yom Kippur War, 1959–1975, Vietnam War, during the last stage of Ho Chi Minh Campaign in 1975 by Battery of 237th Anti-Aircraft Artillery Regiment. 1975–1990, Lebanese Civil War, 1975–2002, Angolan Civil War, 1975–1990, Western Sahara War, 1977, Libyan-Egyptian War, 1977–1978, Agaden War, 1979–1988, Soviet War in Afghanistan, 1980–1988, Iran–Iraq War, 1982, Lebanon War, 1990, Gulf War, 1990–1994, Nagorno-Karabakh War, 1992–1993. Georgian-Euro-Abkhazian conflict. 1994-1996, First Chechen War, 1999, Second Chechen War, 2003, Iraq War, 2008, 2008 South Ossetia War, 2011, Libyan Civil War, 2011, Syrian Civil War, operators. Afghanistan, 20 were delivered from USSR. Algeria, 210 in 1995. According to another sources 310 were delivered from USSR. Angola, 20 plus were delivered from USSR. Armenia, Azerbaijan, Belarus, Bulgaria, 30, Cameroon, 200 ordered from Russia. 128 were delivered from Russia, but a new contract was certified with Russia in 2011 for 300 to 350. Congo, 8, Cuba, 36 in 1995. Egypt, 350 in 1995. 330 were delivered from USSR, also a new contract was signed with Russia in 2005. Ecuador, 34 from Nicaragua in 1997. Ethiopia, 60, Georgia, 38, Guinea-Bissau, 16 were delivered from USSR. Hungary, 20 in 1995. 14 were delivered from USSR. India, 100 were delivered from USSR. Iran, 100 plus, Iraq, 200 plus, Islamic State, operates small numbers captured from Syrian army. Israel, 60. Captured from Arab armies over the Arab-Israeli conflict. Jordan, 16 in 1995. 45 in 2008, Laos, 10 plus, Lebanon, XPLO vehicles operated by the Lebanese Army, Lebanese Forces, Al-Murabba Town, Amal Movement, Progressive Socialist Party. Libya, 250, Mali, Mongolia, Morocco, Mozambique, Nigeria, 30, North Korea, 100 were delivered from USSR. Peru 136, Poland, 44 to 87. 150 were delivered from USSR. Most of them will be modernized to ZSU-23-4 MP by a standard. Somalia, 4, Russia, 133 in active service in 2011. Syria, 400 were delivered from USSR. United States, the United States operates a few ZSU-23-4 for testing. Turkmenistan, 28, Ukraine, Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic, 50, Vietnam, 100, Yemen, 30 to 40 in 1995. Former operators, Czechoslovakia, 2 were acquired from USSR for trial purpose. East Germany, 131 were delivered from USSR. Soviet Union, see also, use in urban environments, Tunguska M1, ZSU-57-2, M163 VADS, M247 Sergeant York, SIDA M25, KS-23, an enormous caliber Russian shotgun, made from rejected ZSU-23-4 barrels. Notes. References, Cole, Christian. Soviet Cannon, a comprehensive study of Soviet arms and ammunition in calibers 12.7 mm to 57 mm. Linz, Austria, Christian Cole. ISBN A978-3-200-01445-9. OCLCA 424511896. Perrott, Brian. Soviet Army since 1945. London, Blandford Press. ISBN 0-7137-1735-1. OCLCA 19847519. Shirokarad, Abro Nekolektia, Shilka I Drugio Techstven ZSU. Issue of a Russian journal. Zalaga, Stephen J. ZSU-23-4 Shilka and Soviet Air Defense Gun Vehicles. Hong Kong, Concord Publications. ISBN 962-361-039-4. OCLCA 48,683,481. External links: Federation of American Scientists page, Gulf link, Soviet air defense vehicles, in Russian. Description and photos, in Russian. Short info and several photos, in Russian. Description, specifications, photos, in Russian. ZSU-23-4 during the Soviet war in Afghanistan.